So just see my 3-hole hollow thing.
Yeah.
I'll be back in a minute.
No worries. Blair, drop your handle a little bit and use the wing of the gouge. And move the tool rest in a little bit.
So I got a question for you, Robbo.
Yeah.
I'll put it back on the bigger screen so you can see it. I got these things.
Nylon spacers, are they?
No, they got no hole in the other end. It says that it's a cover. It says it's a cover for those self-tapping screws.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, it's an option whether you put them on or not. Doesn't really matter. They've probably got a little cross inside them, have they? And then you push them onto the top of the screw. Or are they hex screws?
No. The only thing I can think is that they go over the point of the screw.
Yeah,
yeah, so you don't scrape yourself on the inside.
Yeah. Bit late now.
Yeah, well.
How many times I've done that?
Well, just put it over and turn it with your hand up against the thread.
No, I mean the scraping my hand and fingers part. I've done that heaps of times, putting it together and thinking, can I get my finger in there? Ow, no.
Yeah, but the idea is you want to make sure that you don't back up against it or someone else does and tear their clothes and cut your
it's on the inside of the metal.
Yeah.
So,
generally sits down in a groove.
Yeah, it's in like a U-shaped channel. Did you see that, Bob?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks much better with an elongated hole in the top. Matches the other.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got a name for it?
No, but Amber's gonna steal it already. When I just got to shake this bit up so it's a bit flatter because she wants to hang it on the wall like that on the wall, and put a flameless tea light candle in there or some LED lights on the wire so she can wrap it around in there and have it glow up, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's what she wants to do with it. So
that's perfect for it.
Yeah, perfect for.
She's ever done any gold leaf or metal leaf? You could do that on the inside too to help as a reflector.
Yep, I did suggest to her to use chrome paint or something on the inside. Tape it all up and spray the inside.
A bit of aluminium foil.
Yeah. Just plain aluminum foil, your aluminium foil. You use
I was going to say, what is it?
I have to remember that Canadians do the same thing. It's aluminium. It's just us that bastardize our own language.
That's all right. We'll let you off, Dr. Bob.
It was called that long before I was even dreamed of. So, or my parents.
Well, it only came into be aluminum because a sign writer left the eye out.
I have heard that story. And then it got published, and
Yeah. Well, it was the only company in America that had aluminium. And they accidentally left the eye out of it, so it became aluminum.
the Reynolds Company.
That could be an interesting bowl, I reckon, Blair. Just quietly. I don't normally like cross-grain things like that, but
Yeah, could be interesting. It's got an interesting grain to it.
yeah. Particularly with the two branches there, like it's a crotch piece of wood, so the grain in it should be pretty specky.
Right. This kind of worries me a little bit here, but so long as I've got 3 good grabs, it should be all right.
Yeah. Oh, you can come down. You can come down a little bit deeper yet, anyway.
No, I'm actually getting pretty close to my minimum. Maybe just a hair more, but I don't want to get too small.
So is this a cheats way of taking the bark off so I can get the points on there, or what?
What?
I was going to do it slowly and just put this up to it. And
Bring your tailstock up and push it with the tailstock, and then put your tool rest in underneath it so it can't spin.
yeah.
You're taking all the fun out of seeing a piece of wood fly.
Yeah, I know.
I would have done it gently. Don't worry about that. I wouldn't have been stupid about it.
No, you can't get it straight, and it's very hard to keep it straight anyway.
They're already starting fireworks here, the neighbors.
What for?
Well, our 4th of July is tomorrow,
Oh, yeah.
and that's
Yeah,
the big fireworks day.
Tomorrow. So I can't understand why they're doing it today.
People buy it and shoot them off because they can, and they got the weekend they can do it.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only time personal ones can be used without permit.
Jeez, I'm surprised with the Americans' way of thinking that they just didn't make sure that the 4th of July came on a weekend every time. Alter the calendar to suit.
This isn't going to end well, is it?
What?
As soon as I turn it on.
No, right. Well, put your left hand on top of it to hold it. Then turn it on and just hold it, and then wind the handle of the tailstock in with your right hand as you go. It should just sit there. No, right. Well, make sure hold it back against the tailstock a little bit. So it's not sitting on the drill. Right, turn the lathe on.
Good enough.
I can't see. Yeah, that should do plenty. You only got to get through the bark layer, and that's it.
Yeah.
That tendon's too long, Blair.
Yep, I was just going to cut it off.
So, Steve from WA came in again the other day,
Oh,
and
yeah.
he showed us his tailstock. Underneath his tailstock, it's got a spring in it, and I know this one's slightly different design, but if I took off the square plate that's on the bottom of this and put a spring in between that and the banjo, do you think that would work?
Well, sometimes the spring can make... Now, you said tailstock before, but you're talking about banjos. So which one do you mean? The banjo?
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them used to have a spring in there. I personally didn't think it worked as... It should... If you keep them clean, they should work properly anyway.
Just mine. It kept coming undone. Like every time I moved it, I had to reach in underneath and turn the bolt
Yeah,
up a bit.
right. Yeah, I'll get a nylock nut and put on it.
If they make them that size, yep.
They do. They make nylock nuts for everything.
All right then.
And that's only a standard metric thread under that.
Yep. So what have you been up to, Bob?
Oh, just working in the shop today. Everybody else was out at the beach. First day at the beach to
And they didn't invite
at the
you.
girls.
I could just see you in a mankini, Bob.
A budgie smuggler.
Yeah, in some X-rated comic book.
Flash Gordon.
Nothing to Flash anymore. It'd be Flash gone.
Who's gone? Everyone around you, you mean?
But there was a day.
Yep.
There was a day. He used to wear racing bathing suits.
Why are they called racing? Do they race somewhere where they're not meant to?
No, they fit very tight and they're very skimpy.
Like early Speedos.
Yes. Yeah, at least in public places, because I had a fairly good physique. I was kind of proud of it. And then I went to Alaska.
Did they do something to you?
No, just ate
up
too
there.
much.
Yeah. Up there, there's that many clothes on, you can't tell whether anybody's got a physique or not.
Yep, in the winter. Summer, very short summer.
Still snowing though, I would assume.
No, it warms up. I mean, we got flowers and the bears are out looking for the berries. Now it's running a good 10 degrees to 15 degrees hotter now up there than it was when I was there.
Yeah.
In fact, Anchorage broke records here a while ago where they were in the 90s. They'd never, ever, ever been that high in any recorded history.
Sounds like they need to come to Australia. Even the Maggies are telling you off.
Well, the South Poles get hit with heat waves that they've never had before. It's getting smaller. It's just the ice is melting.
Yeah.
Okay, Riley, that's what you've been waiting for.
Well, your leftover coffee.
No, the hamburger I had.
Oh, yeah.
Sloppy Joes I made a couple days ago.
Yeah. Not so sloppy now.
They're left over, so just warm them in a bowl.
Yeah.
Add a little water to it, so it's you got some gravy with it. Because Sloppy Joes just are supposed to just stick together, so it's more like a chili.
That's coming up nice, Blair.
Thank you. Yeah, I like that little split in there where the crotch is.
A hidden treasure.
Cool.
I must say, I happened to show Brendan the bed you made, and it was
the
like,
bed, the
yes,
bed that I'm making. Yeah.
If you sell the planes on that,
Sorry.
if you, right, he asked me if he bought the plans, could I make them? One for his room.
Well, if you've got limited space, it's a neat idea, actually.
It is. I've seen bunks like that, the 2-story ones, but he liked that one. His room's not exceptionally big. You couldn't put a double. Well, if you put a double in it, you couldn't put a queen because you couldn't walk around to get to the dresser and the closet, and both sides of the bed have room for a nightstand. Because that room's, the whole width of the house has that room on the second level and the master bedroom, of which you can do all that in. So 2/3 of the house width is taken up by the master bedroom. And he ended up with a little one. But he wanted it because that he could paint the walls black, painted the ceiling black, and he likes it for gaming.
Yeah.
And his big thing is his 2-monitor desk, regular computer desk, big enough for 2 monitors, and a big green screen on a stand that goes behind him so he can be anywhere he wants in the world. He thinks that's great. And two monitors, one for the game he plays in, and the other one keeps track of what assets you have and your other players and chat. And he sits back with a headphone and a mic, and he has a ball. That's his castle. The only thing that he doesn't like on school nights is I turn the internet off.
You mean bastard.
Yes. Well, to get him up in the morning, and if I told him bluntly, I just laid the rule down. If we get any feedback that's negative, like you not being able to be up, dressed, have at least a bowl of cereal or a cup of hot chocolate and ready to walk out the door, not run, one day, then we'll consider making time changes for when you go to bed. And no one's going to go up and spy on you to see if you're in bed. I'll just turn the network off. I did some other stuff that was just as bad to begin with. I had it programmed, since the lights are controlled in his room through voice, including the color he wants the light in the bedroom. He can walk in and tell me that shouldn't be named to turn on his bedroom light 1 and 2 in the green and blue, and it'll do it. Or he has them already pre-programmed by different names, by games that he plays or players. So when he tells her to turn the light on and then names the game, it automatically runs a routine that does that. His bedside light, he ties to the music he listens to at night. He's got all the electronic stuff to make him a geek, and he loves it. At least that's the term from my age.
Yeah. You want to have a system where you just flick the lights, 10-minute warning, you know?
Oh, I can do that too.
Yeah, well, that's what
I
I'll
can
be
set
doing.
it up with a timer, a verbal timer for her to do it, or the system to do it. And in fact, I do flash the light next to his bed for 5 minutes as a 5-minute warning. I try to be reasonable, but school comes first.
That's right.
And I just turn the internet off to his computer, because every port I can address, every IP address I can set timers for, or anything I want on the network. And then he'll get on his phone and he'll be texting people and talking, and I can see that happening too, as long as it's on the network. But if he's on the phone network, on the wireless broadband that comes with the phone, is 5G. I can't control that yet.
Yet. I like the way you say yet.
Well, as a parent, they have a program that you simply petition, you fill a form out, and the phone, I pay for him to have it. And for that, he cleans my shop. And now he's gone for a month, vacation.
Yeah. So it's time to go in and remodel a room, is it?
Well, he's already done all the painting. He just wants a bed that's better, because he got an old bunk bed that he didn't like. It was too babyish. But he loved it when he first got it. The problem is he's 14 going on 18.
Naturally.
But I think his dad picked up a bed frame, a traditional bed frame, and that's up in his room today on a pre-fourth sale at half off. But I get a kick out of it. He'll say, well, can you help me put this stuff together? And I look at him and say, no, read the instructions. People, they think they can do it without reading.
Well,
and I
that's
just
right.
would rather have him screw it up and then ask for help, which if you screw it up, I'll come up and help, but I'll only help him by reading the instructions to him as if he couldn't read. Did you do this? And then read step 1. Because he claims, of course, as usual as a teenager, but I read the instructions. Okay, we'll read them one by one and see what went wrong. That's the easiest way I've found with teenagers, at least, to not really embarrass them, but give them the option of saying, but I must have skipped that. Okay, that happens all the time. You shouldn't be thinking about your girlfriend or watching TV or come up with a wild ass idea. Because I know that none of them are true, but I don't want to embarrass them.
Well, my father always answered a question with a question.
Yeah, I try to.
You'd be working away on something and it's not working, and say, hanged if I know why I can't get this to work, Dad. He'd say, well, why do you think it's not working?
Oh, yeah, I'd like that. The one that I get, that I have drilled into every kid that I've raised and helped or taught, is that they keep saying they can't get the screwdriver to hold the screw to reach in the area where it's got to go. Or it's really hard to get a grip on it, or it's too small, or I can't see where the hole is if I try to put the screw in the hole or a bolt in a hole. And then it's introducing them to a little bit of green ski wax. I keep it cross-country, a tube, and they're paper so you can peel them off as you use them, but green wax, which is for snow. It's a gummy wax that sticks. So you stick your screwdriver head into the wax, stick the screw on it, and it stays there, and you can put it in. And it's, boy, that's great. And then they come up, I could have used a magnet. Okay. And hand them a magnet, but it won't work. And I said, well, do you ever think that's an aluminum screwdriver and it's non-ferrous? Oh, good old type on.
Don't worry, there's a lot of bloody adults that can't use screwdrivers properly. I've got one, the bloke I've been building the truck for here. I have gone through over 200 Phillips power driver bits because he refuses to hold them in the bloody slot.
Oh.
And they just wear out. Doesn't apply enough pressure to them when he's using them. So they go, sound like a machine gun going off.
Yeah.
And he drills too fast.
Well, I've had that with problems with people, but what I seem to come up with is they confuse Phillips with reading prints. And most people don't know the difference between a reading prints and a Phillips head. They look the same, but prints hit real quick. But we see
what the heck was that? What was that? Yeah, no. All you got to do is just look for the dots on the side of the bloody square. Or the side of the cross.
I know as a kid, often screwed stuff up, but my dad and my grandfather would, the screwdrivers look the same, almost, but the screws themselves or the bolts themselves, they're different. You have to be careful.
Yeah, well, there's not much difference between posi drives and Phillips screws. It's just the shape of the thing in them.
Well, with the reed and prints, I don't know if you get them there, but I don't know where they come from.
What are they called?
Reed and Prince, it's named after somebody. And they come to a point, and straight down the sides to a real point. And they don't have a lot of, they get their grip from being able to have that long point going in and it bottoming out. You can use a Phillips head in most reed and print screws, unless you want to really torque them down because they have the same number of points. But a reed and print comes to a point and its bit is actually a point. It tapers straight down to a point.
I'm just looking it up on Google Weather. I've never seen the reed and prints out here, but I dare say we do get them. But I've only ever seen Phillips or posi drives out here.
You know, my favorite screw to use is actually a square drive.
Oh, yeah. I love square drive or hex drives.
Man,
or
those
tex
things,
screws.
those things you can drive just with no problems at all. I've never stripped one out. I've broken screws off, but never stripped one out.
Bill has stripped a square drives because he didn't have it seated in properly. And it just drills a bloody hole down it. No, tex screws are actually my favourite one with the hex head on them. Use hundreds of them.
Yeah. What I like, and I got as a present last year from a close friend of mine, was a whole set of easy outs designed just for Phillips and any screw, even a square, the head screw. They have a name, but I can't think of it. But being able to get easy outs, custom for each one of them in different sizes, and these little pocket kits.
What have you done to your microphone there, Bob? It's bloody terrible.
Yeah, it keeps cutting in and out. It's kind of weird.
I'm just on my cell phone. My tablet bit the dust, and I had to send it out to get fixed. Unless it's the fireworks the kids are playing with outside.
Oh no, it's got terrible sound at the moment.
Huh.
It sort of sounds tinny, sounds echoey, and cuts in and out. So you got everything.
Well, I can remedy that by hardwiring in the headset.
Oh, good day, Chris. I was just thinking about you.
How you going, Chris?
Let me see if that helped any.
Yeah, that's
See
better.
what all the fireworks are outside. The neighborhoods go together often to pick up and do fireworks for the neighbors.
Well, after 30 years, I don't mind the sound of fireworks these days. And Chris says he's driving home from a wedding seeing lots of fireworks.
Yeah. Let me see if I can pick the other camera.
See where I'm at? We've got a fireworks ban. They're not supposed to light anything off because then we set mountains on fire.
Yep. Fireworks are banned in Australia except by licensed operators. Which is a bit of a bummer because I used to love setting nice explosions.
Ah, the street light's killing them.
Yeah.
Let me get by the street light here. Because every city has different day that they do them. Typically, it's tomorrow. The big one around here is over the Detroit River.
I hear Sydney has like just a fantastic one every year.
Yeah, Melbourne, all the capital cities do in Australia. Melbourne, Brisbane. But Sydney's the one they didn't televise over the rest of the world. Mainly because it's got the Sydney Harbour Bridge there, they can hang them all off.
How you going, Neil?
Good idea.
Yeah, mate. In for a quickie.
Late lunch.
Something like that.
Oh, Julie's out visiting her mother in hospital with her brother-in-law, so I'm on a late lunch too. I won't get lunch until about 1:30 probably.
Oh, you could make it yourself, you lazy bugger.
That's what I was going to say.
Well, I could, but Julie said, we enjoy having lunch together. So I have the option.
Is she going to bring something home, is she?
No.
Okay. What's Dr. Bob doing?
Well, it's the 4th of July over. Oh, it's 4th of July tomorrow over there, and there has been a few fireworks going off. But
Yeah.
Few people got excited.
as I said to Bob earlier, I'm surprised the Americans didn't move the calendar and make the 4th of July the weekend, you know.
Yeah.
They like doing everything else to suit themselves.
Better call it.
Cooking some
Yeah, but
stabilized cinnamon.
it's all
Sorry, everybody's talking at
a
once.
2-day
again.
holiday. You do keep the fireworks. Typically, are the big ones are always kept on weekend.
What are you cooking, Neil?
And you see, this is the beginning of a week holiday.
Well, you're glitching right out there now, Bob.
Yeah,
Can't hear a word you're saying.
it's the phone's not picking up the signal at all.
I was saying I was cooking my stabilized cinnamon sticks.
Oh, yeah.
To cast later today.
Does it smell nice?
Well, no, it smells of cactus juice at the moment.
Oh. Hey, now you're ruining the whole cinnamon smell now.
Yeah, I do worry about that, but well, such is life. I was a bit worried.
Oh, no, did I make some noise? Sorry.
I was a bit worried the resin would only stick to the outside, not the inside of the cinnamon stick. So as you're turning it, it could fall apart. But such is life. What are you making there, Blair?
Turning a little bit of honey locust. That was kind of a crotch piece.
Into?
It's a little bowl.
Okay.
I just don't want to touch it now that I've sprayed it.
So it's a natural edge bulb, is it?
Yeah.
Right. You got to remember, Blair. I'm looking on your bulb's on a screen about an inch by 1.5 inches,
Oh, wow.
and so your bulb's about bloody quarter of an inch.
Gotcha. Well, if that's any indication, that's how big it is.
Yeah.
It's big as his hand.
I don't know if we get honey locust here. We get black locust, which is beautiful. Can't say I've ever seen honey locust here, but I know it exists.
So this tree is really interesting. When they're young, they have these little branches that come off, and on these branches there are needles. I mean, just full thorn, like they can be like 3 inches long and sharp and just wicked. And then you can cut them off and cut them off, and eventually they won't grow back. But I mean, it just right along the whole main section of the tree. They're bad.
Do they leave a bird's eye type mark behind, or in the heartwood sort of thing?
Do they leave it? What kind of a mark? Sorry.
A bird's eye mark.
No.
No. Okay.
That'd be cool if they did.
Yeah. I just know a lot of trees. When you're trimming off the young branches and things like that, You let it grow, and it will develop into a bird's eye grain. Well,
Yeah, I haven't come across that yet. I would like to eventually.
is the darker areas grain or is it salting?
No, it's grain. Right there and there was a branch, and that was a branch too. So it's,
Right.
it's a crotch piece. And it's really punky on this one and this one.
Right.
This one's pretty solid.
What are you cooking now?
Huh?
What are you cooking?
Who?
Neil.
I'm not. No.
Oh, I thought
No.
you said you were. Oh, it's cooking your resin. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll shut up.
Down in the shed, I'm cooking the cinnamon sticks.
Yeah, how rude, hey. You're it all wrong. You're meant to be in the oven.
$30 worth of cinnamon sticks.
Jesus.
I had to buy 10 packets to fill up a cup.
They seen you coming, didn't they? Quick, knock the price up a bit.
Yeah, they're only, 150 grams a packet. 150 grams? I think it was 150 grams. So, yeah. On eBay, they were $50 a kilo sort of thing. But ones at the shop were all the same size. Must have been the checkout chick looked at me weird when I bought a whole carton full.
I like cinnamon, alright.
Apparently you can crush them up and put them on your garden. It helps with the bugs.
Yeah. So does glass. Get eggshells and put them around your garden. They cut their feet. No, they do. It's fun. Sounds funny, but they do.
Well, I know if you sprinkle diatomaceous earth, bugs don't like that much either. Especially.
Yes.
I got the easy answer. We just haven't got gardens.
Well, your guys' answer's so big, you could probably rent them and have them create their own gardens for you.
Yeah.
You do mean the inch ant?
Fire ants.
We got an inch ant. It runs so fast, it run up your leg and bite you about 10 times and run back down, and you don't even know what's going on.
Wow.
Yeah, bloody bull ants, jumping jacks, blue ants, blue-tailed ants. They used to be blue bottles. They used to be the bastard ones.
Oh, those jumping green ants were bastards.
Oh yeah.
Is that what made the koalas? Is that what turned the koalas into drop bears?
Probably.
I remember my old man was mowing the lawn down at Dramana, which is down the coastline of Victoria. And
Did you say? Did you say down at Tamata?
Dramana,
Uh,
down on the peninsula. Anyways, he's mowing the lawns in his shorts on the ride-on lawnmower. And all of a sudden he jumps off and he's bloody running around like going nuts. The bloody green ants, the jumping green ants, he hit a nest. They went up the lawnmower, straight up his legs, straight down his pants, and bit him on his the agates. And they don't just sting once; they sting again and again and again and again until you remove them.
yeah.
So, yeah, he had basketballs by the end of the day.
Man.
Yeah, that
Of
would
course.
suck.
Once they stop stinging and they go down, they then become itchy, don't they? The bites.
Yep.
I don't know which was worse.
Looking good, Blair. A hidden treasure in the wood.
Yeah. I just need to make it nice and thick with this stuff in here, and then it'll be really pretty. But right now, it's just sucking it up.
Yeah, just put light coats on. Don't
This
try
is-
and put too heavy a one on.
This is the triple coat.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Just
So yeah,
light coats on each and do a lot of them.
And build it up. Otherwise, you get your runs.
and you don't want the runs.
No,
In any way, shape, or form.
Cool.
Who's turning something in the top picture? Is that you, Jay?
yeah,
Oh, it's all right. I can see big. That screen's only 6 mil square. All I could see was chips flying off, that's all.
That's always a good thing, huh?
Oh my God, you're using your expensive deep hollowing guide.
Yeah. Custom.
That's cool, Jay.
Yeah, something a little different, I suppose.
Yeah,
Not
right.
really.
Well, it's round, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tried to be round, yeah.
No,
He's
that's
got a-
quite cool to have like a live edge if you leave a live edge on it and
Yeah.
be kind of a ball. That's cool. I like it.
It's got a flat edge there, but I'll just try and round it off with the tool. Maybe I don't know. I don't want to go wrecking that edge, so I might just leave it. I was going to go around both sides, but then it just would have made this too small.
You could
What are you
almost
gonna-
go a sphere.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Shh, don't tell anyone. Oops, that's not cool, man. So Blair,
Sir,
do you buy your sanding sealer and stuff pre-mixed, or do you buy flakes and make it?
I just make it.
Okay.
It's too easy.
Another shine juice you can try if you want is get flakes and put mineral oil, just mineral oil, no alcohol, just mineral oil, and just experiment with how much you put in, and then just let it sit around for a couple of days. It'll take 3 or 4 days for it to melt down, and gets a really nice polish off it. This one's been going for about 2 days now, so it's not done. So I'm not going to touch it yet, but it actually has a really nice finish on the wood,
Cool.
and
Yeah, I'll have to try it.
really shiny.
Hey, I'll get some flakes off Amazon and try it.
So that's just shellac and mineral oil, Jay.
Yeah,
I didn't think mineral oil would break it down. Actually,
Yeah.
yeah, it does. It just takes a long time. Well, like 4 or 5 days, maybe a week or something. No, it comes out really nice. I did one piece. I put 2 layers. I did 2 coats on the top of it, and then 1 coat on the bottom of it, just to see the difference. And it comes up really nice. I'll go grab the piece. It's just inside. It's stuck in there. Oh, bloody light. Bloody light. That's got 2 coats up there. You can see the darkness difference. And that's 1 coat going all the way along there. And then the bare wood underneath with a little bit on there.
interesting.
It gets a really nice shine to it. Really nice.
Wow, that's pretty.
Interesting that if you join the mineral oil and your beeswax and just throw some shellac flakes in it.
Yeah.
Oh, by
Yeah,
the way, I checked into vacuum pump oil, which is refined mineral oil, and the refining just removes out the sulfur out of the mineral oil, but they then sometimes throw in some other gunk, which they don't.
Yeah, well, they've got to put in anti-foaming, cleaning. They can't just run straight mineral oil in them.
Well, that's what the refined mineral oil. That's what they do. They take out the sulfur. They take out there was something else they took out, and it converts it so it doesn't foam up.
Yeah.
But I would have thought taking stuff out would have been fine, because if mineral oil is safe to start with, if you're going to take stuff out, then it's not going to. But apparently they do sometimes add something to it. So,
yeah. Like I said, I wouldn't be trusting it.
Nah, well, in fact, the expert said, "Are you mad?"
That'd be about my response too. What are you, bloody crazy?
Yeah, oh, well, bugger. So I had to order some more mineral oil. Mind you, I think I just bought a litre for $30. So,
Jesus.
and that's pharmaceutical grade. So, it's totally clear and all the rest of it. So,
What about this grade?
Can't see it.
good old
Clear.
baby oil.
Yeah,
I don't like using that because that's got perfume in it.
this one doesn't.
Right?
No. This one's from Woolies.
How much
And it
is
cost
that?
me $1.70
Oh, wow. Cool.
for half a litre.
Didn't even think of baby oil. Yeah. But yeah, I traditionally haven't used baby oil because it normally has a perfume in it.
Just sneakily open up one and have a sniff.
Yeah. It's baby safe, not necessarily food safe.
Yeah. Doesn't matter for what I'm using it for though.
Nah. And at the end of the day, a lot of things are poisonous, but if you use in such small quantities, it doesn't do anything.
Exactly. When it's bloody cured off, it doesn't harm anyway.
Yeah. Look at camphor oil. God, it's actually poisonous, but the Indians drink a bloody cap full of it every day to make them healthy.
Yeah.
The amount you've got to drink to die is huge.
You sure they're getting healthy, or they're getting like a bit? Is that their peyote replacement or something?
Stuff to find out. You're making
I
a
could
big
say
dummy
something.
spit flare.
Yeah, I could say something really rude about what Blair's making, but Neil's comment sounded better, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
If you had the string for the light pull and stuff, it's almost looking like a globe, isn't it? Like the one you screw into your house. Yeah. Go on. Go and have your coffee and come back. Go on.
Looks like a dummy to me.
Yeah. Or something my ex used to use, yeah.
You mean a baby pacifier for a big baby?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you did live, it's like enough to be able to rechuck it to hollow it. It's like one of those new-fangled LED bulbs, too. They can have a narrow base, but the way they group the LEDs on a printed circuit card, they have a bulge in it. So they can have the LEDs spaced around the card. I've taken a few of them apart to see what made them tick.
I like those LEDs that are they're like elements.
Yes, aren't those neat? The whole string of them.
Oh.
But each one is an LED. You can actually get in with the right circuit and make them flicker and make them go on and off. It costs more for the little control card than it does the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's just one chip anymore. The LEDs are getting so cheap for what they do.
Absolutely.
And here we have a distribution problem in electricity with people using older air conditioners that aren't energy efficient because they've been installed for years on a pedestal in their backyard like ours. It's 12 years old, but still runs, not a problem with it, the condenser. But they cost a lot more, almost 10 times more than the new ones do, that are energy efficient and cost less to run. And you compare what the run cost is versus buying a new one. It's not even a wash yet. When they are a wash, then we'll probably haul this one out. But it works beautifully. It just costs a little more to run.
So the one that's in my house is over 20 years old. It was here when I moved in.
You recharge it?
No, I haven't needed to yet. Works beautifully. It is a split system.
Heat and air?
Yep.
It's heat pump too for the winter?
Yep. Well, I don't use it for winter. The coldest it's ever got here is -2 Celsius. And, I just put on me Ugg boots and a blanket.
Yeah.
I'm a cheapskate when it comes to heating.
And
Not
you
quite
like
as cold as where you get it though.
And you like cold weather anyway.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it'd be nice if we had a heat pump system. And when this goes out, It's the furnace side that's a problem in our house
Yeah.
because it was put in 71, 60 something when they built the house, but when they put the air conditioning in the late 70s, it wasn't a very efficient system. So they had an add-on box that they had to put on the furnace in order to run the air and control the furnace circulation fan and all that. So when that all dies, we're going to end up getting a new furnace, but not until, because it's a good system.
Yeah. And they're not cheap.
No,
Sure. They may be cheaper to run, but you still got to pay the upfront cost.
yeah, I wouldn't have electric heat for love nor money. I've had it at places I've rented and lived in and have hated it. You just don't have, it's like having a baseboard heat. It's there, but psychologically you're not as warm. Because when the furnace kicks in as a hot air furnace, you actually feel a warm breeze
Coming.
in a lot of places because of the registers, and the brain registers the feeling that. So psychosomatically, it makes you feel warmer. Well, you are, just while the air is warming the rest of the air in the room and you. Though I must say, in Alaska, my fireplace, we had propane heat. But when I'd get a fire going in the fireplace and bank it right, then that, I learned the second year up there that having a 10-foot wide fireplace was really a good idea.
You'd want to have a lot of wood.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was in there, I always thought, for architectural purposes, but it was an R&D house to research different heating systems, different this, different that for Arctic use. Had the whole place wired with sensors that went to a panel in the a cabinet in the garage, built-on garage, that kept the information, and then they would come out once every 2 weeks, come in the garage and change the graphs, the graph paper, and that. And I didn't mind it because I didn't have to pay to live there, nor the utilities. So I lucked out living in an experimental house that way.
Yeah.
But one of the kids, call him a kid, he was 23, that he needed a place to stay, and he worked for me. And he loved dogs, so I had a dog team, and he ended up the second winter having a team of his own and best friends with a neighbor kid he went to school with. Just to be different. I mean, he learned how to handle a dog team, and he'd go to high school in the winter with a sled. I'd go to work on a sled. But where I lived, we had a trail that took us right to the back end of the University of Alaska campus, out by the gym where the kennels were. And you'd pay $1 a day a dog, and they would unhitch, give them something to eat, put them on a lead in a sheltered area, and you'd call 45 minutes to an hour ahead, and they would have them all back on a lead for you to just pick them up and head off. And there'd be maybe 50, 60 people that way with their teams, that they'd take their team to school, and Mark took his team to high school, and There they had to put them out and do their own breakdown of the sled. But he found that it was neat because he could take his girlfriend to her house on the way home. And I get the phone call. Well, we're snowed in here. The dogs are all right, but we can't get through the road because they haven't been able to clear away yet.
Oh, that's a better excuse than running out of petrol.
Yes, it is. But I got to know the girl's parents because the father was on the same Lions Club I belong to. And they lived, probably about 8 miles away, 10 miles from where I did. And with a good heavy wind, it made the normal trails that we used back at campus, that they weren't groomed back yet. Because they'd run through with snow machines with a grooming trailer. They'd drag behind it a weight on it to re-groom for us to get rid of the big drifts and stuff after a big snow blizzard, and maintain the snow highway, as it was nicknamed. Always get a kick out of the Chichacos, the Athabascan for outsider. We used to have a lot of ways of teasing the outsider. Chichacos, I think it's an Athabascan term, or could be Eskimo, but it means outsider. In essence, you haven't lived there a full year, so you haven't,
In Australia, you've got to live in a bloody town for 50 years to become a local.
I don't know if you ever considered a local up there, not in the villages, unless you were born there. But that's just a tradition. You're always an outsider if you weren't born there, or within, they call it families, but it's really what we would call tribes, is the other name that makes more sense. They were just different native groups, and they were all totally different languages. You could look at them and say that they're different. The only race in Alaska that was unique and not to Alaska was Eskimo, because Eskimo is classified as a race of people.
Yeah, Inuits. Yeah.
And they're in Russia. They from the Arctic Circle north all the way around the top of the world. You'll find the same group, and they can go wherever they want. They have no need for passports.
Oh.
Yep.
Wonder when he sneaked out. I didn't see him go. Neil, I mean.
No, he just popped out.
Yeah.
I must say, Robo, your prodigy is really surprising for only being turning a year.
Yeah, not doing a bad job.
Yeah, my holiday today was spent rehanging gutters.
Oh, that's fun.
Wow. Side of the garage. I don't know if the concrete has settled, and I don't think so, but something has. It's because I set the drainage angle and everything probably 10 years ago here. And I found little trees growing out of it, so I got the ladder out and went up to look, and it had about 1.5 inches of soil with all this stuff growing in it. So
Yep.
I cleaned it all out, and I stuck the garden hose in one end, turned on to flush everything down out behind the garage itself is where it dumps to. And I found I still had an inch of standing water. So I had to undo it and put the slope back in it again. So all I can think of is that something changed.
Yeah.
And I checked the level on the roof, and it's the same.
All right, I'm going to knock it on the head in a minute. I've had my warning knock.
Oh, your 5-minute warning.
Yeah.
That's nice of her.
All right. No
All right,
worries.
I appreciate everyone for coming in and for Blair being the main attraction today. I don't know if he knew that or not, but yeah.
Wow.
Thanks for letting me come in here and play.
Yeah, no
All right.
worries.
Catch you all later.
All right,
Yep.
see you later.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. See you, Chris, if you're still there. See you, Bob.